Hello and welcome to For the Quantum Grammar Shoot podcast number 149. The only podcast of its kind available on the interwebs that I'm aware of. I'm your host, Jason-Matthew Glass, full stop. And this is a podcast of conjecture, where I share my own personal views about various topics as viewed through the lens of correct sentence structure, communication, parsing, syntax, grammar, the wonderful grammar technology brought to the public in 1988 by David-WYNN, Miller. And there is a degree symbol after the win because David is a self-proclaimed 92nd degree Freemason. Now, David did pass away on the summer solstice of 2018, so he's not here to answer any questions about any claims that he made. So those folks out there who email me asking me about things that David said or didn't say or did or didn't do, I really have no answers for you because I'm not him and he did what he did and is not here to certify it. So now that that's out of the way, I have a couple things I'd like to talk about. I found out on YouTube, what YouTube really pays attention to. And what they pay attention to is Elon Musk. That's one of the things they pay attention to. Because I published a short, one of those videos that's about 2.5 minutes in length, 1 minute to 2.5 minutes in length. And the title of the video was something like, My Problem with Elon Musk. And YouTube limited the reach of that video because it was not suitable for advertisers, supposedly. It's the first time they've ever done this to me because I posted a viewpoint on Elon Musk. Very interesting to me. I can post all I want to about correct sentence structure, communication, parsing, syntax, grammar, and they never say a word. Never, 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 never. I can audit different folks from different sectors of this quantum grammar domain, and YouTube never says a word. But the minute I even audited the inauguration, Trump's presidential oath of office, I did a bunch of videos on that, never, not a peep. But as soon as I said something critical of Elon Musk, boom, the hammer came down. So now we know. Well, now I know. I don't know if you know, but I know for sure where the boundaries are. And it's not a big deal, folks. I'm not upset about it. I really could care less about it. Because I know that I'm a guest here. Yes, this is my channel. I am the channel steward or master. I run it. I publish content on it. I moderate it. I try to keep it as clean and as efficient as I possibly can. But I know that overall, it's YouTube's channel. I am a guest aboard their vessel. And they allow me to exist here and publish things. And they take a cut of my monetized channel. And that's fair. I don't have a problem with that. Because it's not my platform, it's their platform. And I think a lot of folks don't really understand how that works. They're not really hip to the rules of contract. But I am, and it doesn't bother me. I know what it means to honor someone else's vessel. Now, they don't care if you mention Elon Musk in a negative manner. They don't really care that you do or you don't. They're just saying that they're going to limit the video or the content that is criticizing Elon Musk. That's all they're saying. You can publish it, but they're not going to distribute it the way they normally would. Is basically what they're saying. It is what it is. So moving on, I like, from time to time, I like to mention other content creators that I honor, or to use a fiction term, I respect. Other content creators that I follow. I know everyone has limited now space. They have limited continuum. They have limited time. You can't watch everything all the time, right? There's only certain things you can watch. There are folks that will send me videos that are hours, 2 hours long. Jason, you got to watch this. Jason, check this out. Check this out. This is the Galactic Federation from the Pleiades, man. You got to check this out. This is God's messenger, man. This is what's going to happen. This is QAnon, man. Blah, blah, blah. Like all this far out fantastic stuff. And I appreciate that you all think that it's valuable enough to you to think that it would be valuable to me. However, just like everyone else, I'm a busy guy. I don't have a lot of now space to devote to watching hours of videos. So if you want to send me something, like some people will just email me a link with no explanation, apropos of nothing, no pre-qualification, nothing. They'll just send me a link. And I know they expect me to click on it and watch it. Well, no, that's not going to happen. Because I need to know what it is first. If you're not going to tell me what it's about, if you're not going to give me a timestamp and say, hey, Jason, why don't you watch it from the 5-minute mark onward for about 2 minutes? And what do you think of that? If you send me something like that, I'll probably watch it. But if you just send me like a 2-hour video with no explanation, it's going to go in the trash bin. Especially if I don't know you like that. If you're not in my inner circle and I don't trust you, we don't have a trust account, probably not going to watch it. That's just how it is. So if you really want me to see something, if you have something that you really think that I ought to view, send me a link, send me a timestamp, and send me a brief sentence or two explaining what it is that you want me to see and why it's important for you that I see it. Is that too much to ask? I'm only one person. I have almost 6,000 subscribers here. Dozens of active students. Hundreds and hundreds of past students. So I get a lot of emails with a lot of stuff. So if you and I are not in regular communication, meaning at least once a month or more, then I'm probably not going to pay attention to a link that you send me. And that's not because I'm ignoring you. It's because it's priorities, folks. My priority is to teach correct sentence structure, communication, parsing, syntax, grammar. It's not to watch videos that I know nothing about. All right. Anyways, to get back to what I started saying. Sorry about that. I had to wet my whistle. That was a long treatise. From time to time, I like to mention other content creators. And I know I've mentioned this individual before. I'll mention her again. Candace Owens. If there's anyone out there that watches Candace, congratulations. Because I get a kick out of this lady. I really do. I've been watching her for years. Now, just to give you a brief rundown on what her position is, she's basically a far right-wing conservative Christian journalist. She is not unbiased. However, she is open to different viewpoints. She will admit when she's wrong. She has humility. That's where her Christianity comes in. And I admire that about her. While I don't agree with the whole premise of Christianity and believing in an imaginary entity, blah, 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 it doesn't matter to me. Because when it comes down to brass tacks, I judge people based upon their actions and their consistency. And she is very consistent. She's morally upright. Her morals align with my morals, my wife's morals, my family's morals, as far as what we feel is right and what we feel is wrong. I know for most people that can vary a little bit. But for the most part, Candace hits it. And she will criticize anyone. She can literally get in the ring with any speaker out there. I remember, I think for last year, for 2024, she got the award for being the number one anti-Semite of the year. And it's hilarious because she accepted it as if it was an award. Like it was, best actor of the year, or best movie of the year, or best director, best anti-Semite of the year. She accepted it with pride. And I thought that was freaking hilarious. I watched a recent podcast of hers where she was talking about a journalist who basically did a hit piece on Candace, slandered her, badmouthed her. But that's not what I wanted to bring up. I wanted to bring up the point that there is an element of the media. They're far left, liberal elements from the Skittles section, from the LGBT, LMNOP, whatever the hell it is, weirdo, delusional, trans sector of the media that wants to normalize and minimize pedophilia. They're trying to say that pedophilia is a sexual orientation. It is not a disorder. It's not something wrong. It's not something sick. It's just something that is. And the point was brought up, the comparison was brought up that scientists and engineers can engineer and build a small, childlike AI robot the size of an infant or toddler or whatever. Oh, it gives me the creeps even to freaking say this. But they can design a robot of that size that can speak in that type of voice that is fully functional, as in the orifices are all there, that they could give to these pedophiles so these pedophiles can act out their urges. And so therefore, by acting out their urges on these little robots, they won't abuse children. And they compared it to giving methadone to an opiate addict. So just like you give methadone to an opiate addict, and so therefore they get their methadone every day, and they don't have to run the streets and get their drugs and use needles and so on and so forth. They can get jobs, become productive citizens if they get their methadone once a day or whatever it is. Well, it's the same thing with these little robots. You give them these little doll child robots, and they can be productive citizens and work at Walmart or the daycare center or the orphanage or, wherever, the school. Wherever it is that folks like that want to work, they can work there and they won't abuse kids. They'll go home and abuse their little AI robot. Folks, how do you feel about that? How does that make you feel right now? Because right now, I feel like I want to throw up. That is disgusting. There is no comparison between someone who, instead of doing opiates, they choose to get on a methadone program. There's no comparison between them and a pedophile. Because, well, I don't even have to go into it for you. I don't think so. I think you can see what I'm saying. A drug addict, okay, I don't buy into the whole addict thing. It's a choice, okay? Bottom line, it's a choice. And that's a whole different subject we can get into some other time. But if you think about it, if you think addiction is a disease, in the same way that cancer is a disease, or leukemia or whatever, that doesn't really make sense, does it? Because when you hear someone has cancer as a disease, you want to help them. You feel bad for them. Your heart goes out to them. But then you hear someone has addiction as a disease. Well, you don't feel the same way, do you? And if you relapse with cancer, if cancer comes back, how does that make you feel? But if addiction comes back, how does that make you feel? You see, it's two different, totally different things. If an addict relapses, they're looked down upon, they're cut off, they're put in jail, whatever. They are punished for relapsing. But if cancer comes back, it's different. You see what I'm saying? So addiction to me is not a disease. It is not something in that same category. It's a choice. There's always a choice. Contract is by consent. So, to move forward with what I'm trying to say here in a very long-winded manner, pedophilia is a choice. If someone has a predilection to feel some sort of way towards a certain aged child, it is their choice to act upon it. Like there's this saying that, the addict has no choice. They have no control over their actions. That is complete 100% bullshit. Bullshit, bullshit. I'll say it 3 times. It is. There is always a choice. That's like the old adage with the creepy uncle or creepy grandfather that, used to get touchy-feely with the females or whatever. Oh, well, he's drunk. That's how he acts when he's drunk, or that's just the way he acts, when he's drunk. As if that's an excuse. That is not any type of excuse, ladies and gentlemen, friends and neighbors. Folks, that is not an excuse. That is what I'm trying to say is it doesn't matter if you take alcohol, if you take opiates, if you take cocaine, psychotropics, Adderall, Xanax, whatever it is that you take. You're still taking it. You're choosing to take it. And everything that you do after taking it is you. It's not the thing. It's you. It's like these mass shootings. It's not the gun that's doing it. It's not the firearm. You're not going to blame the firearm. The firearm didn't make you do it. You did it. If you drank alcohol, the alcohol didn't make you do it. You did it. I don't want to get too far off tangent here. I hope you see the point I'm making. Contract is by consent. We do things by choice. There's always a choice. And pedophilia is no different. I don't think there's anyone out there that would disagree with me. And if you do disagree with me, then I would put you in with the pedophilia minimizers and apologists. And you are my enemy. I don't have enemies that I know of. I don't have anyone that I hate or that I want to fight against. There is really no one out there like that for me. But if you are a pedophile, if you abuse children, psychologically or physically, or, okay, I'll even put this in there. If you abuse animals, you are my enemy. And I will treat you as an enemy if I witness you doing this abuse. So that's just to give you a little insight into my character, folks. This has been a bit of a personal podcast for the Corner Grammar Shoot. Next episode is going to be 150. So we're going to have to top this one. I'm hoping to go back to the Gurdjieff material. I just recently did a video where I kind of went on a rant. So this is kind of a part 2 to that, I guess, in podcast form. And then hopefully I'm going to be doing some more material with Ricardo, Marseille. But this is my own personal platform to get some things off my chest. I also, just like everyone else, I've also been going through some things. It hasn't been the easiest thing. It's been touch and go. And hey, I don't know if I'm going to be here next week, next month. I have no idea. But I'm going to do the best I can to be as straightforward as I can, to put out the best knowledge and the best viewpoints that I can, so that you folks out there will hopefully find some value in it. If you do, I'm grateful. I'm grateful that the cosmos has put you in a place where you can assimilate this and you find value in it. If you don't, if you're finding things to hate on, well, that's your thing too. I hope you also have a blessed day, and I hope that the negative value helps you in some way. Either which way, I appreciate you listening, and I hope to see you this month, and I hope you're here to catch all the cool content that I'm going to be putting out on this channel. More grammar content, more content with Ricardo, Marseille, and hopefully we're going to do something with Harry-Charles Rookslow as well. That would be awesome. All right, I've rambled enough. Que sera, sera.